How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the best trading channel on YouTube. My name is Gev. It's Monday, August 3rd, so let's talk capital. Alright guys, so today's video is a little bit later than I usually make these, but it's just been a busy Monday and I'm just now getting back and being able to check in on the charts, so I want to catch you guys up too. I don't want to leave you guys out of the action that happened today, so we're going to go ahead and go over it right now. It's been a pretty slow day. Mondays usually are, but as far as everything goes today, it's just and no major moves really going on here. And we're gonna go ahead and talk about what is going on, what's not going on. But let's obviously start off with the S&P 500 here. And as we talked about last week, we ended up respecting the uptrend here and respecting the horizontal support level. On top of that, we got a very bullish monthly close here. So basically all signs point to 33.40, and that's exactly where we're headed as we speak. Today's bullish close just basically makes that even more of a confirmation. We're heading up to 33.40, and it's now a matter of when we get there. It'll most likely be sometime this week, whether it's in the next couple of days or later this week. It's going to be, it's not as interesting to see when we get there, but it's more interesting to see how we react to the level when we do get there. Okay, I'm very curious to see if we're going to get an immediate rejection off of this gap area here, or if we're actually going to grind through it. Okay, I believe we're going to grind through it, and what I mean by grind through it is, I mean, we'll probably come up and hit it, and then come up and continue this grind here until we actually break above, and then we'll get a nice bounce above, pretty much setting a new all-time high, right? So let's actually go ahead and add that level in, since that is the level. There we go. So basically we're just looking at 3340 and then ultimately 3400 for the S&P 500. And like I said, it's going to be interesting to see how we react to it once we get up there. I mean, we are bullish basically on all time frames, especially the higher time frames. Have we had a 3-month close? No, we still got some time for a 3-month close. So on the higher time frames, we're very bullish. That means the move is going to continue upwards. And we are kind of getting like a Bitcoin stalling pattern here. When we were in Bitcoin, we stalled here and kind of just had a tightening range before we broke out. That kind of looks like what S&P is doing. Obviously not as clean of a range as Bitcoin was doing, but that's basically what S&P is doing here. And if we go over here and check out all the stocks here, Facebook still playing in that gap that it left over the weekend on Friday. Amazon coming back into the gap. Wow, this is going to give a nice buy entry in the 3050 range. Apple just continuing its moonshot upwards. I mean, again, when you get a gap above resistance like this is a very bullish sign. Okay, you expect the move to continue, and anything that moves back into the gap should be bought up for a continuation moving upwards, right? So that's exactly what it's doing. It's just continuing on that momentum. Netflix preparing for a move back up to the highs here. It's going to have some trouble with this $520 area. There is a nice gap here, so we're going to see how we react to that. Google setting up perfectly. Okay, perfect actually. You guys notice how we're in the gap here? This should be the bottom of Google's move. Okay, this should be the lowest we go, and we should bounce out of here and go and set new all-time highs here. Okay, so we're gonna watch how this gap works. But when you have a gap like this and you've already gone above it, and now you're coming onto it, this is using the gap as support, and that's exactly what's gonna happen here. Okay, Microsoft. Wow, Microsoft getting a nice pop today. Setting a new all-time high. Very bullish Microsoft move. Very nice for anybody in Microsoft. Tesla still probably going to go ahead and come down to this 1200 range we've been talking about. Tesla, after such a great move, such an enormous move, Tesla's going to stall here for a little bit, guys. Tesla's going to take a break. It's going to reset everything. It's going to consolidate for another leg higher. Okay, it needs some time. It needs to take a break. It needs to breathe, basically, right? Nvidia setting new all-time highs. Absolutely beautiful. Nvidia, very bullish for Nvidia. Expect the move to continue here. Today was probably just the beginning of a very bullish week. PayPal finally getting a break above the range that it's been in, breaking above again with a gap. So now we have support at $185 here. It's going to be interesting to see if we come back to it. We really shouldn't. We should just continue this move here. Basically setting it, not basically, setting a new all-time high almost at $200. PayPal was one of the biggest movers of the first 6 months of the year, as you guys can see, and it looks like it's going to continue that trend moving into the second half of the year. Disney still kind of just sideways, and that's basically it for these stocks. So basically, stock market is going to move higher this week. We're going to have, and Nasdaq set new all-time highs today, actually. Let's go ahead and look at that. I'm glad I remembered that one. So Nasdaq set new all-time highs and continuing again, gapping up at resistance. Very bullish for Netflix, for Nasdaq. It's actually invalidating a head and shoulders pattern. Left shoulder, right shoulder, and the Jesus, I can't speak. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder coming in, but getting invalidated with the new all-time high. So again, stocks are looking very bullish moving into the rest of this week. So I expect a move for S&P 500 to the gap, to get to the gap, and everything else should pop up with the move to the gap. So stocks looking absolutely bullish here. Gold, daily chart squeezing upwards. What I want you guys to notice here, if we're going the 4 hour, we're setting a low, higher low, higher low, higher low, and the tops keep going higher, and we keep setting new local highs, right? This is textbook breakout pattern for gold coming here. It's gonna see 2,000 before it sees a reversal here. So I'm just waiting for that $2,000 move on gold. It's gonna be very nice, and it's honestly gonna be a monumental moment to see gold back at $2,000. It was previously at $2,000 back in the 70s, I want to say, and to see that chart, you have to go on Google gold historical chart, and you'll see it's popped up above 2,000 one other time previously. And it's going to be nice to see it move back up to that range. So gold looking very bullish. Absolutely love what gold is doing here. And finally for Bitcoin, guys, a lot of people got scared over the weekend with this dump. I mean, we had a $1,500 dump in price in about 6 minutes of trading. Absolutely insane price action. But this is what happens when Bitcoin starts its move. When Bitcoin goes into a full bullish momentum, these moves start to become increasingly volatile. Okay, so they get increasingly more volatile, and that's exactly what we saw over the weekend. Okay, now one thing that I want you guys to understand here is this. No, this is not the end of the move. The move just started, right? We just got a break above the downward sloping trend line for 3 years, and we just got a break above 10.5. This is not the end of the move. This is just the beginning. And as a matter of fact, this area right here is strongly representative to me of this area right here. I think we're going to have this pattern play out here where we just kind of grind and slowly set a new high and crash back down, set a new local high and crash back down until we finally get that pop that we want, right? We're basically waiting for price action to come and touch the 21 daily moving average here represented in the red, and that's probably going to happen somewhere around 10,800, 10,900, and we're just going to get a replay of this pattern, which is going to take us to 20K. Okay, so no, I'm not worried about Bitcoin. We have already established weekly and monthly closes above the 10,500 supply line and the downward sloping trend line. There's nothing, absolutely nothing bearish about this. Sure, would I have loved to see this candle close above our 11.6 resistance? Absolutely. But that was the super bullish case, right? And we didn't get that, which is fine. You don't want this to move up in a straight line. We want this slow grind, guys. There's no rush to get to 20K. We will see 20K by the end of this year. So as long as we take our time and get the correct market formations and correct market moves moving up to 20K, get a healthy move up there, not just some ridiculous move like this where we come into a even more ridiculous consolidation pattern. Okay, we want a healthy move. Okay, there would be honestly nothing wrong with us hanging out here, rejecting this and coming back down to even 10,000 and then getting a grind up here and then a pop back, right? There would be nothing wrong with this move. This actually would be very bullish, be very healthy for the market to do this. I would actually love this scenario. Okay, I don't want a straight shot to 20K. That's just lunacy. Again, we don't want that. Okay, so it's gonna be interesting to see how Bitcoin plays out in the rest of this week. That $1,500 dump again was a little backwards move. It did kind of set us back a little bit, but it's okay. Normal market movement for Bitcoin, nothing out of the ordinary, so nothing to worry about. Okay, again, very bullish on all these markets across the board. Okay, so as always, thank you guys for watching the channel. Thank you for supporting. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed yet, and I'll see you guys in the next video.